Okay, folks, that was FedEx dropping off my nameless dog's food. He likes the expensive stuff called Crave. And I found a great deal on eBay, which beat Amazon by a long shot. And then I found the generic of it made by Kirkland at Costco. So I ordered some of that. So we're going to have food for a while. And it's also good that if you're preparing for this future event to have your pets well taken care of. So I got to order some, other stuff for him. And anyway, we're keeping this stuff stirring. Now what happens is it cools down, it's going to solidify. And before it turns solid, you want to put it into, I like to put it in ice cube trays because then you have one individual servings that you can use, or you could just leave it in here and kind of slide it out, because it's pretty firm stuff. It's good to put it in maybe a Tupperware, but put a piece of baker's parchment on it so that you can cut it. You don't want to get any of that plastic in it, because what you do to reconstitute this, you take a nice bowl of rice. I mix it 1-to-1, 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water. Use as pure water as you can. Okay, and I generally make like 4 to 6 cups of rice into 4 to 6 cups of water. Boil the water, put your salt in it first, then throw in your pemmican into the steaming hot rice, stir it around, it'll flavor it, put the nutrition in there, and then you have yourself something that will, if you ate it every day now, most of us would be better off than we are now, because it's an unbelievably nutritious food. But as we know, food centers in the brain are triggered by senses like our mouth and our emotions. You've worked hard, you deserve a break today. Go to McDonald's. Oh yeah, I work hard, and the kitchen is hot, and yeah, let's just go to McDonald's today and have ourselves a break and get the kids a Happy Meal. Next thing you know, you're paying, way more than, the cost of a nutritious meal at home for some garbage that's just gonna make you fat and sick. So that's the power of psychological operations by manipulating your emotions and your senses. So, I don't own a television, and I'm so glad that I don't. But I do get influenced because I do a lot of reading and, particularly of periodicals. I read the Military Times, and, that shit is penetrated everywhere. I read, scientific journals, and science is not science anymore. It's a religion, and like I may have told you guys, I worked in clinical trials, and when they're paying you $100 million or more, sometimes $400 or $500 million, they want the right answers, okay? And the right answers are the ones that make them money. So do you actually, construct entire fraud? No, that would be, easier. You got to do it's got to be somewhat verifiable by a reasonably diligent regulator, which most of the time they're not, because these clinical trials are conducted in Pennsylvania. There are these giant campuses with these immense buildings like AstraZeneca, and you go through armed guards and drive over the hills to this immense building that has security around it, to a lobby as big as, I don't know, half of a residential block, and it's just all towering and cameras and guards, and the person you go to meet is there. They walk you through these sealed door corridors down through an elevator into a place where, boom, the trials are happening. So if there was like a raid on it, it would take, they'd have an hour or so to clean up the mess, which I'm not trying to insinuate that they're all crooked and it's all bad. For decades, American medicine was most of it was really trying to do good things for the American public. But, when the God switched from the God of the Israelites to the God of money, the God of this earth, so did the morality. And it simply came down to whatever gets you what you need in this lifetime is the right thing to do. The ends justify the means, okay? And that's been around, that's Nikolai Machiavelli. So it's been around a long time. Psychological operations have been around for centuries. I read another book written about 500 years ago by a French version of Machiavelli. I have to look up his name. But it was how to control the people by their emotions and how to be a king. And it was the same thing about propaganda and playing to their vices and, controlling their behavior. So it's nothing new. Just today, it's just instant feedback on Facebook, likes and shares and little surveys. It's another thing. Those little surveys, what color unicorn are you? Or what kind of, gemstone, or whatever those things are. Don't take those tests, okay? They are just compiling your data. These people that compile these data, this Analytica or whatever the group, they know you better than you know yourself. They know what decision you're going to make before you make it, okay? And they know that I'm telling you this now, okay? So, but they also know that you're not going to, 99% of you aren't even going to listen to it. You'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to do that, and you won't. Because that's human behavior, okay? And believe me, I'm not immune to that shit either. I wake up, I'm going to do 250 push-ups before I walk the dog and drink my coffee. It doesn't happen. I may get 50 in, and then the dog barks, and the day goes on. So we all have, different things that stop us up from getting our goal. Just try to be disciplined and get things going. As you can see here, this is starting to solidify, and I'm stirring it. The fat is lighter, so it rises to the top. So you want to keep kind of pushing it on through, and I'm kind of just chatting with you. Getting that in. By the way, I've been working on my push-ups. I noticed that I got sloppy. I wasn't going down as far, and I wasn't coming up completely. Now, the elbow, even with the shoulder, is considered fully up, so it doesn't have to be fully extended arm. But what I'm doing is training to get that full extension with a pause. And when I can get 50 of those, which I can almost do now, then I'm going to start working on speed, and and then I'll make a determination if I'm going to go for that world record. But I don't like to make promises to myself, particularly, and to others specifically, if I'm not going to follow through. So there's a Challenge 22. It's Rescue 22. It's for the 22 average veterans that commit suicide every day. It's a fundraiser. I'm not going to ask for any money. I'm going to put it on my Facebook. If you want to contribute, great. If not, I'm going to just use my monthly tithe money. I tithe about $250 of my earnings, which is about $2,500 a month, to various causes. I fund Firearms Policy Coalition, Gun Owners of America, no longer the NRA because I do not like Wayne LaPierre. If they fired him, I'd put them back on there. But as much as I love the training side of the NRA, their political lobbying and just the overt theft of LaPierre, I don't know why they keep voting him on there. He's got to be good at psychological operations himself, because he literally in the documents show that he was most likely having an affair with a young woman, paying her $375,000 for a 35, 40,000, maybe 50,000 if you're in New York or Los Angeles job. And then she got upset, decided to leave. He paid him a giant lump sum of money with continual 10 years of a salary that's 10 times what she truly deserves. So it's just like something's going on there. He's flying his family on private jets to conferences, and you know, look, I own my own company and I live pretty large. I did weekend school, 3 weekends a month in the UK, and I lived in Leesburg, Virginia. So it would cost me $330 round trip, British Airways from Dulles Airport into London, London into Edinburgh, and then I'd cab it and I'd stay at the John Mark Hotel there in Edinburgh most of the time. Eventually I started staying with other students, and then I would hang out a week. Now remember, I had a wife and 2 small kids and a nanny, so it wasn't all that missed, but there's been an impact in my life. So I've lived large and I know what it's like, and I certainly didn't have the income disposal to buy private jets, but I was excessive. So I understand how that shit gets to your mind and you want to live like a rock star. I'm glad that I had my transformation in this life, and it humbled the heck out of me and made me know what's really important to me. And what's really important is have a great relationship with the Lord, have Jesus Christ as your Savior, and have real friends that really care for you, man. That's like, I didn't have that before. People liked me because I'd give shit away, and my wife would change furniture like every 6 months. So they'd be getting, free sofas that cost $7,000, and, artwork that would change every time. Her brother, anyway, we don't need to go over all that stuff, but now I have friends that truly care for me, and, I care for them. So life is better. And, who knows what kind of demon I'd be if they didn't take my wealth away from me. What's going on 7 years ago now? But it's all good. So as you see, let me tilt the camera down here. This is starting to solidify into what will probably be close to its final form. And look, it's going to turn a little whiter, but bring the camera back up and get my ugly face on there. I'm going to cut for right now. I got to take dog for a walk. Still all the good names I have. Just got to put a little effort in it. And what I've tried a number of them out, and I want one that he responds to. So some of them he doesn't even turn his head. He does like Ranger. He does like Major. He does like Samson. I call him my buddy, and that seems to perk him up the most. So I may end up calling him Buddy. But right now we're just still bonding. We're less than a month together, and getting a lot of exercise. So actually, he ate one of my chickens. He didn't mean to. I guess it was Sunday. I let him out, and was not feeling well. So I went and laid down for a little bit. About an hour later, he came back in. About 3 hours later, I went out to cook some bacon and eggs on my outside grill, and I noticed this lump in the yard. I'm like, what the heck is that? So I humped it on over there and found my chicken with his head twisted around. And I don't think, it could have been any number of things. He could have killed it, just playing with it. It could have been something else that killed it. He chased it away. I mean, I'm not good at forensics of dogs. So, and I think I told you all this. See, I'm getting old. I'm speaking all the same things over and over. I'm getting the Joe Biden disease. I'm not fit to rule your country. Bye.